Hey folks, welcome to another video from A Plain Truth for You, and well healed too. Well healed it was this week during the fires, during all the events that were going on out here and still going on out here in California. We had the privilege to host Dr. Garcia and his staff for the first ever West Coast biomagnetic training seminar that many of you took the leap of faith. Many of you just flew from all over, as far as the Philippines, as far over as Hawaii, and came out to experience the incredible seminar with Dr. Garcia this week, where the power went out, but the power was given to us to heal others. Many are now reporting it has changed their lives, unforgettable experiences, and they're so glad that they made the effort to come out and learn Dr. Garcia's biomagnetic protocol for healing all issues: mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. He performed miracles, folks, including myself, which I'll be sharing my story next about this. And below we have the story of Danielle, her miracle story. I am more convinced than ever that biomagnetic healing will heal the world, as we all learn from Dr. Garcia and we go take it out to the world. And we just had 32 people, 32 new souls, the healers certified to do training. So we're going to take it back home. We're going to help others, and we're going to heal the world through this. But I wanted to let you know that if you want to take the class, there's another class coming up November 6th in New Jersey. And I highly recommend anyone that has any interest in healing the world, healing each other, healing your families, your children, your pets. You can also download the Beyond Biomag 3D, and that's at usbiomag.com. And so we used magnets. It's using the polarity, the positive and negative energies of our frequency body to bring us back into homeostasis. And this is Dr. Garcia's website, American Biomagnetism, usbiomag.com is the site you want to go to if you can swing it to make level 1 training with Dr. Garcia himself, the world's finest by a factor of huge training doctor that is teaching all of us how to use magnetism and put placements on each other and ourselves to perform miracles. And if you don't think there's miracles going on, when you hear my story tomorrow, what happened to me 2 nights ago, stay tuned. But this stuff is real. I'm now convinced. I've taken level 2 from Dr. Garcia. I now hosted 32 wonderful souls out here in California. But neurofeedback is emerging as a powerful tool in rehabilitation of stroke patients. We're proving over and over again that biomagnetism is the way. If it wasn't a science, it would be a miracle. You want to hear a miracle? Here's Danielle's story. Hi, folks. I'm here and have the great honor and privilege to be with Danielle. Danielle is with Dr. Garcia's team, who came out from the East Coast. Danielle's from Baltimore, Maryland. And she has a very, very unique story, which is similar to mine, but she's taken it to a healing level where I'm just learning to do it. She's actually using biomagnetic practices from herself needing treatment and needing assistance. And it's been a personal journey of hers, and now she's out helping others and assisting Dr. Garcia's vision of healing the world. So Danielle, thank you for being with us. And I was wondering if you could tell us your story about how you came into biomagnetism, what your issues were, and then where you're at now, and then what biomagnetism is meant for you, and we can go through that path.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jamie, for giving me the opportunity to talk about it and hosting us out here. It's been fantastic. So my name is Danielle Pillarinos, and I got sick, I think it was like 7 years ago. I lose track, because once you get better, you really forget about the suffering you were going through. But I was 26 years old, and I was hospitalized with something called rhabdomyolysis. My left arm swelled up enormously. I thought I had a blood clot. So I went to the hospital that I worked at, and that's when they told me that I had the diagnosis of rhabdo. There's no treatment for it. They sent me home after 5 days, and I thought I'd be fine. I had been running 40 miles a week. I lifted weights a couple times a week, and I went home and literally could not walk around the block. I was so exhausted. I just instantly, that just like a switch went off. I was exhausted. I had horrible joint and muscle pain. They started sending me to all of the ologists. I went to the rheumatologist. I went to the infectious disease doctor. I went to all sorts of specialists trying to figure out what was going on. And then 6 months later, as oddly as it showed up, it disappeared. And I was like, I don't know, okay, that was weird. I have no idea what that was about. I went back to my normal life. And then a couple months later, the exact same thing happened. I woke up, my arm was huge. So I packed my bag for the hospital. I went to the ER. I told them what I had. I'm like, I know what's wrong with me. I just need IVs. And that's when my health really, really started spiraling down and out of control.
Once you got IVs?
No, it was after the second. I got IVs the first time.
Okay.
It was just saline because that's the only thing. With rhabdo, the issue is that there's so many toxins from all the muscles dying that it'll shut your kidneys down. So
the muscles in your body were actually dying.
Yes.
Is what's the name of the disease they die?
Rhabdomyolysis.
And that's what the rhabdomyolysis is muscle deterioration.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I just came out of the hospital, the exact same thing, horrible fatigue, like joint pain. I couldn't remember anything. I got Raynaud's syndrome after that. Then I had something called postural orthostatic tachycardia. So I would pass out from standing up. My heart would start racing. All these things, they couldn't tell me why I had them. I was totally healthy, and now I'm not. I was seeing the specialist at the University of Maryland Medical Center. He was the head of the ALS clinic. Lou Gehrig's. And he came to me one day, finally, like in tears. I had been working with him for close to a year. They sent my case to the NIH because they thought I had a very rare muscular disorder. He was in tears. He said, Danielle, I have talked to all of my colleagues, anybody I can think that would know what's wrong with you, and I don't know. He's like, I like you so much as a person, and I can't help you. Because at that point, I was losing my ability to walk. I could feel when it was coming on. It wasn't really a seizure. I didn't really pass out. My legs just gave out, and I'd fall over, and it took me several minutes to be able to stand up again. They actually told me that I was exercise intolerant, which is so crazy. Because they told me anytime I'd exercise, my muscular, the metabolism of my muscles wasn't enough to support them. And if I exerted myself too much, that's when they would start dying. So, all these crazy things. And we really were at a breaking point. I mean, this was about a year and a half. I never looked sick, which made it worse because people, I feel like, would really judge you for being... I had a handicap sticker. I could barely walk. I couldn't do anything. But I never looked sick, and it was so depressing. It's so depressing to be that young and sick, or any age and be that sick. And just seeing your life...
And having people say no one can help you.
And no one can help you. And are you really sick? You don't look sick. Are you really? Is it in your head,
Yeah.
And you think your life is going this way, and then it just goes, 180 degrees the other direction. And we heard about biomagnetism. My brother lives in California and had a friend who practices biomagnetism. And she heard my parents talking about what was going on with me and said, you have to, I promise, please take her to see somebody who does this. And we were very open to it. And she said, since you're on the East Coast, if you can, you have to see Dr. Garcia. He's the one who will be able to help you. And made an appointment. Did the same thing everybody does. You call him, I have this issue, can you help me? He's like, yes. I've never seen somebody with that particular issue, but can biomagnetism help you? Absolutely. It's just...
And how long ago was this?
This was probably 5 years ago.
Gotcha.
Yeah, about 5 years ago. And so I went to him, and after the first session, he was with me for 4 hours.
You were laying on the table for 4 hours?
He was with me for 4 hours. Which is an incredibly long time for, just going through everything that was going on. And I got home, and the next morning, I had chronic lymphedema in my left arm ever since the first hospitalization. And I came downstairs, and my mom was in the kitchen, and she was rubbing my arm, and she's like, oh my God, I think it's less. And I was like, I think it is too, and we were just so excited, maybe this was it, this is what was going to help us. And, I had so much to detox out. It took me a week. I was feeling okay. I never felt terrible. I was just meh. And after that week, then I was like, oh, I felt like myself again. I was so happy. We didn't really understand how it was going to work. So the whole family was like, listen, if we have to go up there once a week or once a month for 3 good weeks out of the month, that's it. This is what we're doing,
It's Baltimore to New York, right?
Yeah. So it was a 3-hour drive one way. But the beauty of biomagnetism is it works with your body. I connected with it because it was my body knew what was wrong the whole time. It just didn't have a way of communicating with it and understanding what it needed. So that's why I just love the therapy for that reason, because Dr. Garcia or myself, we are just helping that communication go on, you know? The person is healing themselves, really.
Self-healing.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of all this.
Yeah, and that's why it means so much. And for people to have it validated, like, yes, I've known there was something wrong this whole time.
You're not crazy.
You're not crazy, exactly.
And we can help you.
Yeah. So I saw him at first, like every 4 weeks, and it just spaced out from there. And I would say after a year, I was back to what I consider myself my normal self. And actually, I take that back. I was better than I had been before, because not only did I have all these crazy diagnoses that had been piled on me, my food intolerance were gone, my seasonal allergies were gone, anxiety that I had been struggling with was gone, all these other things that you're kind of just told, like, this is a part of normal life now.
How about your muscles?
Fine. Oh, I started powerlifting. I went back to powerlifting.
How long after?
Probably a year. Probably a year after. I mean, I went back and was like lifting, normal weights, but a good year after I felt I was fully recovered, I started powerlifting, and.
So when you left his office after 4 hours, we talk about managing expectations, because everybody's different. We got issues on issues on issues. You and I both have layers on layers on layers.
Yes.
But it took you over the course of a year and getting several treatments before you got an all clear and back.
I probably saw him 8 to 10 times. Yeah.
Over the course of
a year.
Of those years.
Year and a half.
And so you immediately noticed that there was some change.
There was definitely. Like, the next morning I woke up and I noticed subtle things. And like I said, I think because I had so many pairs and there was just a lot to process for my body, I felt, better than I normally had, but like not great for about a week. And then after that week, I was like, oh my goodness, I feel like myself. I wasn't exhausted. The brain fog lifted. The pain that I was in all the time dissipated, all of that. So,
Did that make you curious about magnetism and biomagnetism? How did you...
Immediately. Like, the first session I had with it, I felt a connection with the therapy, like 100%. And then when I went back for the second time, I was like, I have to do this.
Wasn't it cool to feel it working through you?
Yeah,
You could
absolutely.
Feel, like yesterday when I had my incident, I could feel it working through me. You're just like, you can feel it working.
Yeah, and I just was like, I have to do this. And I love the therapy because it addresses the root cause and deals with the root cause of the problem.
Absolutely.
So, I just connected with it.
So did you go and start taking level 1 class? Is that how you started?
I didn't. He sent me home with magnets to place on some other people, and one time I was really sick. Like, one night I thought I was going to throw up. I was sweating, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to puke. And I thought, you know what? No, I'm just going to move the magnet around. I had a background in anatomy, so I was like, okay. So, and then I was laying on the ground and had my husband come over. I was like, are my feet the same length? Like, show me. Like, try to put a magnet. And then I figured out, like, kind of very rudimentary.
So you're teaching your husband a muscle test and placing it on you.
He was
Okay.
like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And it was very, like, rudimentary for sure. And I figured it out, and then I didn't get sick. I was like, holy crap, like, maybe I can do this, So from there, it kind of started growing, and I would ask Dr. Garcia when I'd go see him, like, for some info. I showed interest. And he is such a wealth of knowledge and so generous with his knowledge. So he was always sharing and teaching. And then I finally was like, I'm going to do this. So he, told me which courses to take. Unfortunately, when I started, his course wasn't available. So I went and I trained with Dr. Goyes, his son, Moises, which you do have to address who found it. Dr. Goyes is the one who discovered this, which is amazing. And then I've taken some courses from other practitioners and just gone deeper, and now Dr. Garcia has an amazing course.
And really compared just between what I've learned with Dr. Goyes, when I'm a researcher, so when I got ill and I learned about magnetism and somebody got me getting my balance back and showing me that this actually was working with just simple magnets placed on you for 15 minutes using the polarity of our bodies, bringing us back to homeostasis where our cells, where funguses, bacteria, parasites, they can't live because our body's in an energy balance, subtle energy healing.
And our emotions.
And, well, that's what Dr. Garcia is. Another huge thing he brings to the table is most of our issues are emotionally based.
Yeah.
And how many doctors, Western doctors, Dr. Goy's, none of these others have taken the protocol to take emotional issues and bring them to the issues of your physical ailments. And we saw a case today with Chris where his emotional issues from his head trauma was caused by him and his loneliness, and him being lonely or after his head trauma, he became very lonely because he was isolated, yeah. And that came out, and immediately he started to feel better. So I can't...
You could see the change in him immediately.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so powerful.
Yeah, and so why did Dr. Garcia send you with magnets to help others? I mean, when he gave you the magnets.
He gave magnets to put on myself.
Okay.
And my family members, so that if there was some things that kept showing up, and he wanted to make sure that I wasn't getting reinfected in between the sessions, so that I could keep progressing. Now I will say this: when I was seeing him, he was like, "Yes, everybody can heal this way. Everybody can make this kind of progress and really maintain that balance. But the more work you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it." So I was already eating extremely clean and organic and aware of what I was doing. My house was completely free of chemicals, like all these other things. So when you have people who you're working with and they see some changes, but they're like, "Oh, why am I not better yet?" But they're eating Fruit Loops for breakfast. You have to put into your body. You can't heal from nothing.
Well, and also what the message too, which I really want everybody to understand, is when he treats you and you get better, or someone does the biomagnetic healing with you, you have to change that which has caused the ailment and issues to happen. If you do not, like after I heard the stories about milk, I loved milk, cheese, I had to give up pizza, I had to give up, all
here to the heart, no dairy, it's just...
Yeah, and a lot of you, like you just said, was very important that you're eating organic food, your house was super clean, you were already aware of the toxics in the world, and you were still getting sick and issues.
And I was one of those people that they're like, "Oh, you do all this stuff to take care of yourself, but you're still sick. Why do you even put in that kind of effort?" And I feel like I know so many people, right? We're like going and doing fasting and juicing and all this stuff, putting so much effort in, but not getting better, because all those things don't get to the root issue like biomagnetism does. So when you combine the two, it's just, it's like miracles are happening.
So you got healed, you got better, and then what?
And then I had to do it.
Do what?
I had to do it. I became a biomagnetic paratherapist myself. I started
self-taught?
No, I did start taking courses. I mean, initially I was kind of self-taught, but I did take courses.
Yeah.
And then I just started working on people. I worked on my family first, and then I have my practice, because there should be people doing biomagnetism on every corner. Like you see chiropractors and acupuncturists. It needs to be out there. It is so simple. Everybody can do it. And we need more people doing it and healing those around them.
And there's no medical license required. There's no FDA regulations. I grew up in a medical family, and I'm treating my medical family, and half of them are in complete disbelief how simply it can work after they've gone through 20 years of practice in medical school and all this. Tara's going to the schools, and she's teaching the children how to do it. Teach them to fish.
I mean, I used to volunteer, I don't have the time now, but I used to volunteer at animal shelters, and I did it on the animals to help with their emotions so that they were more easily adoptable and like they weren't suffering from their life experience.
And we need vets. We need vets to take this course and learn how the animals, because the animal parts where the body is for placements are different than humans. So we really need vets to come into this.
100%.
This business is wide open to healing animals.
Yes, yeah. And as a mom now, I just connect and resonate so much with helping children, because you heal a child, you heal a family.
Tell me the story about they told you couldn't have children.
They did. Well, yeah, because I was too sick. Why would I bring a child in? How could I carry a child in such a body that was so sick and create a human being and them not?
Didn't they say you only had a few years?
They really did. Well, they told me I was going to be in a wheelchair. Their
so
solution,
not to have children?
The only solution they offered me was a walker, so that when I felt like I was falling, I could sit down and I wouldn't hit my head. Because I had fallen in parking lots, I had fallen in places. People would walk by me like I was some derelict on the floor, It was just horrible. And I'm just sick. I'm just sick laying there, and they're judging you, and you're like, I don't want to be laying in the parking lot.
Sadly, I can completely relate to what you're saying. I have a dropped foot, and I'd fall on my face all the time, and it's so embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
And people look out, you're disabled, and
or they say you're drunk. You
Right.
You know, like, what are you doing out in public like that? You know, you're like, no.
So what was the first person you treated, and what was your first reaction on someone else working? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Your parents, your mom?
I did. So I worked on my family a lot. And my parents are in their mid to late 70s, and literally in the past 5 years since I've been working on them, it's like they're aging in reverse. Their health is getting better. My dad is 77. He stays out here in California in the winters with my brother, and he has a house in Tahoe. My 77-year-old father has a season pass to several of the mountains to go skiing. And just like last year, he's like, you know, Danielle, I used to have to take a break. Like when I was going down, I had to take a break like halfway. I couldn't make it all the way down. He's like, but now I can go all the way down the mountain. I have no problem.
Aww.
And the crazy thing is, we just found out this summer, he had quadruple heart bypass like almost 20 years ago. 3 of them had completely blocked back up. He had one artery feeding his heart, and he went on a 10-mile hike this spring. The only thing keeping him alive was the biomagnetism, because it was keeping the inflammation down in his body enough, because my father wasn't, other than me seeing him, he wasn't doing anything to take care of his health. He was eating whatever he wanted, you know.
So 3 out of 4 arteries are closing, and by Dr. Garcia has many placements for heart improving heart flow, and many of those, which I've done with some people, to improve their blood flow, and it works instantaneously.
So, I mean, when he went in, he was having some fatigue, so he went into the docs, and they said, first of all, how are you not dead? But how are you moving and doing what you're saying that you're doing? This is like, they couldn't believe it. Yeah, and so they think his heart has been occluded like that for 5 years or longer. And that's the time I've been working on him, and he's been getting better and better and better. And his cardiovascular ability has been getting better. Like I said, he skis mountains. He's 77.
Well, we're going to talk off camera, because you got to get me skiing again. I used to live in Squaw Valley and ski 100 days a year, and
crazy.
I can't ski now. So
that's where he goes.
I got to get back there, so maybe we can talk. But just tell me, so now you have, I don't like to use the word practice, now you're in the healing business. You're facilitating others through biomagnetism to help them heal. Mm-hmm. So do you have a shop did you set up? Do you have your home?
I have a home office where people can come and see me.
In Baltimore?
In Baltimore, yeah.
And we'll put this on the website, on the links here.
BiomagneticHealth.com is my website.
Gotcha.
You can find me, and right now I have about a month wait list.
So when you first started hanging your shingle, how did you advertise? How did you...
I didn't. That's the crazy thing, word of mouth. I just, from all my friends that I had been helping, they just told other people, and then they start hearing like miraculous stories, and people, can you help me? Do you think this could help me? Do you think? And it just spread out.
So you're carrying your magnets everywhere you go, because that's what I do too, right?
Oh, like totally. I have them in my car.
Yeah,
I have them by my bed. I have them when I go on vacation.
Well, people want them
everywhere. Yeah, I have.
And you never have enough of them, because everybody wants to take them with them.
They disappear all the time.
Right.
I just I have like 2 giant stacks right now, and I'm like, those are not gonna last, because I send them home with people, and you know, I really try to work with people, and I say, listen, you can't afford to, you know, try them out. If they work for you, let me know. You know, if you don't feel like it helped you, bring them back. You know,
so they can call you, and you do physical, or do you do remote healing? Have you done any remote healing? I do remote,
yeah. It's not my preference. It's a little bit, it's very draining.
Yes.
Doing remote is a lot more draining, so it's not my preference. I will do it in emergency situations, you know, like people who are really desperate and they can't get to me. But I mostly work from home.
And what would you say your success rate is on all different maladies, issues?
I haven't had anybody tell me that they haven't seen a change. Let's put it that way.
Wonderful.
I haven't had anybody. Again, it managing expectations, right? You're going to get out of it what you put into it.
And heal thyself. We're providing the facilitators for you to go and learn and do it to yourself. And as you do it to yourself and learn, then you can do it to others.
Absolutely. And I just consider myself a channel that's helping facilitate the healing of somebody, for somebody to help themselves. And
Beautiful.
I'm a channel of that. And it's an honor to be a part of people's journeys and to see them change. And for people to call you and say a year later, and they're sending me beautiful, beautiful cards and emails. I thought I was dying. You gave me my life back. I was like, it's not me. I didn't give you your life back. I just helped you.
I facilitated you to do that.
Yeah.
So you're a spiritual person.
Yeah.
I would like to ask you, how does this work?
How does it work? Because it's science. That's the crazy thing about it. I mean, people will say, what kind of weird, like, voodoo are you doing? But But it's not. Once you understand how the body works, the electrical body, the magnetic body, how all of that works, and some quantum physics thrown in there, it just makes sense. But you're balancing the pH of the body so that it can achieve homeostasis. And
we're energy beings, we're frequencies, and so when you get those frequencies in harmony, the diseased cells cannot live, and once you break them apart, the healthy cells will use them for food, just like a caterpillar becoming a butterfly will leave food for the butterfly, so it has something. It's very elegant and beautiful the way this and simply elegant. That's the other thing, it's simply elegant. And I go through the history of how they banned this because it was too simple and too easy to heal ourselves.
People ask me all the time, why doesn't everybody know about this? Because there's no money in it. There's no money in people making people not sick.
Right.
There's money in keeping them sick.
Dis-ease.
Absolutely. And my goal is, I joke with everybody, I'm like, listen, I don't want to see you anymore. My goal is that you don't have to come back. They come back a couple times a year for a little tune-up, you know? But no, I don't want to. I want you to be healthy and be living your life, not having to always have appointments and seeing people and having to, you know, being healthy shouldn't be that hard.
Health is wealth.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so the spiritual side, remotely. That's science?
Absolutely. Again, it's just quantum physics.
That we can be thinking of somebody and having somebody else on our table, thinking of them, placing magnets, and those person we're thinking of will be getting healed and help facilitate their healing by us just putting our intention. You know, our minds, our body, our spirit, it all comes together.
What are we made up of? We're electrical beings. We're made up, our atoms are made up of electrons, neutrons, protons, and mostly empty space.
Right.
You know?
Right.
We're just, what's the difference between me and the air around me?
So where would you like to see this go, Danielle? What do you envision? Do you have a vision?
Everybody. Yeah, I want, like I said, people should have their biomagnetism practitioner seeing them in the hospital, just like your respiratory therapist comes in, or you're just another part of every issue. I just want it to be not on the fringes anymore and mainstream. Just like everybody goes to their chiropractor, everybody goes to their acupuncturist, everybody goes to their yoga studio now. Everybody should be having biomagnetism.
But this is a full scan. This does your whole entire mind, body, spirit healing. And it's all the others are kind of coming at it from different sides, but this is the entire...
Yeah.
So,
and I love my chiropractor. And I love my acupuncturist. I do. But this, to me, is the most powerful therapy out there. That's why I love it so much.
And whole in the holistic.
Exactly. That's why I had to get behind it. Of course, you're going to put all the other pieces together. You're going to the healing process is just going to be exponential. But this, to me, is the most powerful therapy that needs to be out there for people.
All right, last question, and thank you for this, is to the children. Dr. Garcia talked today about Yamia soup. And you have a 5-year-old daughter?
I have an 18-month-old.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
Now, can you explain, or are you doing Yamia soup for your baby? And
I did.
Can you explain what that's about?
Yeah, and when he first told me about it, I was like, okay, but I trust Dr. Garcia. You hear, I did breastfeed my daughter as well, because I did want her to get those antibodies and all the good things that does happen from breastfeeding. But the Jaramillo soup really optimizes their health, and it's been amazing. People joke with us all the time, like, you'll never have another kid like that. Don't get your hopes up.
Because you're seeing differences?
Yeah, she's just always been a great sleeper, and no health problems, and no colic, and not the crying, and
diarrhea.
None of that stuff. None of that.
And so what is the Jaramillo soup? What is that?
The Jaramillo soup is I just put it in my pressure cooker, and it's some beans and grains and mostly vegetables and a little bit of organic lean protein. And you cook it all down and you blend it up. I mean, the baby can't eat that, obviously, but you put it in a bottle and they suck it down. My daughter used to be so excited. She would see her bottle of Jaramillo soup and she'd be like, give it to me. And she'd hold it, like, suck it down. She loved it. And so it's just nutrition, like optimal nutrition for them, so that their brains can develop optimally, so their muscles can. The kids that take it are so healthy looking. They're tall, they're lean but muscular, very athletic. Just
So you're
gifted
giving them the
children.
nutrients that breast milk isn't. We're told that breast milk is all there is, but the child development, as I understand it, 30% of the entire growth of our bodies occurs in the first 18 months or so.
Yeah, it's
And
crazy
so
to
this
think,
soup
yeah.
gives you the nutrients of the vitamins and the nutrients necessary, and they're seeing incredible results in children in their mental development, their physical development, their lack of illness, their whole protocol of growing, because they have the structure of the nutrients in their body where breast milk doesn't do that. And this has been brought up from Colombia, right? The doctor down in Colombia.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't remember all the statistics off the top of my head, but I think like the malnutrition in the hospital that he was at was somewhere between 40 and 65%.
Right.
And after he introduced, and they took it throughout the whole hospital policy, with the Jaramillo soup, it was down to less than 1%. I mean, the children just thrive off of it. And little side bonus, so you don't have to worry about those explosive diapers.
The smell is different too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like they're eating normal food. It's so much easier.
And how long do you leave them on that yummy soup?
You know, she took it until she gave up bottles. And now she is such a good eater, not a picky eater at all, loves her vegetables, loves her meat, you know, not just a, chicken nugget and a French fry kid. So I think because she was exposed to so many different flavors and different food at such a young age that
And anybody can do this, right?
anybody can do it. It's so simple. I mean, yeah, anybody can do it.
And we'll put the recipe in as well, so that everybody can do this. And Dr. Garcia was showing result after result. He was an OB. He worked in the children delivery as part of his residency. So he saw thousands of babies. And when this protocol was introduced, it was profound in Colombia, the difference. And he's bringing this here to the United States for all of us. One other quiver in the arrows of healing that all of us can do ourselves once we learn about how to go about doing the healing ourselves and self-healing and giving our children a really a gift to get them started on the right way, where Western
foundation, they're children the way children should be.
Right. And can be.
Yes, absolutely.
If we learn this kind of methodology.
It's heartbreaking what we see happening to the children.
And maybe at this beginning juncture, we're going to see the healing of the world just expand all out and teach others. Thank you, Danielle. What a wonderful time.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it so much.
And about this experience here for this week for the first ever West Coast Biomagnetic.
It's been so awesome. It has been fantastic. The energy here is great. All of the people, just the love that has been in here, and everybody just wanting to spread this message, learn, help. People's minds are being blown because it just like blows the lid off of conventional medicine. And it's just amazing. And the changes that we're seeing here from one day to the next is awesome.
And if any of you want to take the seminar, I'm going to publish this hopefully the next day or two, November 6th.
6th through the 10th in New Jersey.
In New Jersey.
That's level 1.
And then Dr. Garcia again, and he'll be putting on level. This is the 4th level 1 training, and he'll be doing more, and we'll be publishing that. But if you can make it out to New Jersey in a couple weeks, it's so worth it, folks.
You are getting so much information in his courses that you will not get. You will have to take so many other ones to get what he has distilled down for you.
And Dr. Garcia was a medical doctor until he quit his practice 12 years ago, and he has developed what I call the Beyond Biomagnetic Bible with over 300-400 placements of all the different issues. And so your head hurts at the end of the seminar, but you're getting all he has learned. He's putting everything, and he's revising it regularly, so you're continually up to date and current with the most.
I mean, he gave you a revision mid-course that you had to reprint something. So he is so full of knowledge, and just his generosity with sharing that and how he just wants everybody to know. It's awesome.
Heal the world. Onward. Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you.
To book a healing session with Danielle, who is now has been doing a healing biomagnetism for a couple of years at least now, you can contact her at her website, Biomagnetic Health LLC. She's in the Baltimore, Maryland, and does remote, not remote mostly, but mostly hands-on. You come and make an appointment, and she sees you, and she also does pets as well. And here's her information if you wish to contact her email address, and her phone number in Baltimore, Maryland. And just to finish this off, again, if there's any way you can afford it, if there's any way you can do it to make it out to New Jersey in another week and a half, 2 weeks for Dr. Garcia's level 1 training, 5th presentation, Do it, folks. It'll change your world, change your life, and we're going to heal the world one at a time. Thanks. You can also go to my website, Well Healed 2, as we update this process. Plain truth for you out. We'll see you next video. Peace.